Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OuTPost Racing Network. Tonight, we've got something really cool in store for you guys. It's week number 3 of the Slingin Dirt Series. It's race night in America, live from Cedar Lake. Ladies and gentlemen, my name, as always, Mac Nelson. I'll be your lone voice in the booth here tonight, pushing all the buttons, making all the calls when it comes to being up here in the booth. Down on track, I'm seeing Derek Darnell, I'm seeing Ricky Barfield, I'm seeing Sean Arnold, I'm seeing TJ Boyd. They're all in the race control station. Don't know if they'll all be doing race control, but I'm sure we've got a pretty big staff here that's willing to make the calls, willing to make everything fall into place. Qualifying just set to get underway here momentarily at Cedar Lake. Let's bring up the track. Opened in 1957 in New Richmond, Wisconsin. 3/8 mile dirt oval. We've got 14 degrees of banking up in the corner. 6 degree of banking on the straight, and it's got a nickname, the Badger State's premier dirt track. When it comes to the schedule, we are in round number 3 of 13. And wow, it does not feel like we're already at round number 3. I guess it's because it's a bi-weekly series. As I see people rolling into the stream, into the chat. Big shout out Chase Copeland. He sat, I believe, like 3rd or something in practice. Maybe he even went the fastest. But we're going to be doing 75 laps here tonight for both the, or I guess actually it'd be for the hooked up super late models. I do believe we're doing a condensed form of everything here still for the Outlaw Street Stock series, which, if you weren't aware, that's how we're doing it, bi-weekly series. We've got 2 completely different classes running tonight. We always open up with the Outlaw Street Stocks and then follow it with the hooked up super late models. That will be incredibly fun to watch here tonight. Next week, they're going to head to Volusia. Or I shouldn't say next week. It's actually 2 weeks from now. It'll be August 7th is when you can catch that one. Round number 5 going to be on August 21st. There at Limaland. And that also will be a really cool thing to watch. I cannot wait to see both of those tracks. And to be honest, I can't wait to see what we have here tonight as well. Looking over towards the point standings, we will look at your Outlaw Street Stocks. They will be in the right column. Tyler Bickford is leading the way, and I must say it's a little unsurprising. He has been ripping these Outlaw Street Stocks, but Jeffrey Hyde is only 2 points behind, and 4 points behind him lies commish, owner, runner, whatever you want to say, Derek Darnell in that number 86. Jordan McLean and Chase Copeland are going to be rounding out the top 5 there before you get into Brandon Schatz, Nicholas McDougall, Ricky Barfield, Aaron Bowman, and T.J. Boyd. Going across to the left, we've got Aiden Lewis, who's leading the Hooked Up Super Late Model Series with 320 points. 5 points behind him is going to be Tyler Bickford, with Eric Zulske 2 points behind him. Chase Copeland, Clifford Driscoll, I apologize, rounding out the top 5 before we see Jeffrey Hyatt, Dylan Jones, Derek Darnell, Jordan McLean, and Shotzi rounding out the top 10. We'll expand the timing tower and give you guys a look at what we're seeing here, as it does look like we do have Crispy here, who is going to be very, very crispy, might I add. Crispy like a good pepperoni pizza, because that's exactly what his street stock is looking like. But it looks like Joseph Pratt is going to be the driver on pole, as qualifying is going to wrap up here. And instead of going through it just to go over your grid, you'll pretty much know where they lay because of the starting grid. So no heat races here. Or I take that back. We are doing heat races. Look at that. We have got some heat races here in the Outlaw Street Stock Series. I'm down. Let's go. Your grid for heat race number 1 is going to be a little small, but we got Joseph Pratt, who is going to be on pole. We ran a 15.228, but only 78 hundredths away from him. Or I should say 78 thousandths. Is going to be Brandon Jones in that number 15. Shotzi and TJ Boyd are going to be on row number 2 with Max Miriovsky in P5. Oh, and also, don't mind the footer sponsor anymore, guys. Monster Graphics. They never paid their bill, so I'll be taking that one off. They never paid any bill, to be honest, and they never did any of the things that they said they were going to do for me, and that was about 4 months ago. So, yeah. Personally, don't use Monster Graphics. We'll be taking that off right after the race here tonight. I apologize for that. A little bit of false advertisement. Not entirely sure if you should take your service there, because they sure didn't care to keep their end of the word with our deal. So heat race number 1 set to begin here very, very shortly. Lights on the pace truck, I assume, are going to go out after this lap, and we will be ready to race here at Cedar Lake. As green flag is out, Joseph Pratt, and it looks like I don't know how true this is, but it's saying we only have 3 laps. We'll see. We'll see exactly what happens here. The street stocks are roaring, though. Joseph Pratt off to an incredible start. Brandon Schatz looking to elevate himself. He is up 1 position. He managed to get around Brandon Jones in that number 15. Brandon Jones is going to have another form of trouble, and that is going to take the shape of TJ Boyd, because he has got the inside on a brand new track, and that is going to be position taken from Brandon Jones. That'll be TJ Boyd doing that. Max Miriovsky not having the greatest of starts. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I swear that it said laps to go 3, and now it's saying laps to go 5. So I guess we're doing an 8-lap heat. That would make sense. That's what I kind of thought we'd be rocking with originally. But Joseph Pratt doing a wonderful job here. Heat race number 1. It looks like he, knock on wood, has got things pretty much all wrapped up. But here comes Shotzi, trying to find a way to make it work around that bottom side. It's going to be a 15.40 for him, 15.39 for Joseph Pratt. No one really able to mimic the pace that Joseph Pratt is setting right now, as it looks like we're going to have 2 laps to go here. 2 sticks up in the air for Barney the Flagman for heat race number 1. TJ Boyd has conceded the position once again to Brandon Jones. White flag in the air. This is going to be for P3. And there'll be a drag race to the final corners as Joseph Pratt, through turns 3 and 4, he will get it done in heat race number 1. He is going to take the first win of the night. Brandon Schatz in P2. Brandon Jones Rounding out that podium with TJ Boyd and Max Miriovsky coming home P4 and P5. Heat race number 2 set to start here very, very shortly. So we'll go over your grid for that. Nicholas McDougall in the 05. Going to be on pole with Derek Jester in the 56 for Midwest Sim Sports. Outside row number 1. Row number 2 is going to see Jordan McLean in the number 7. Sean Arnold, the Canadian, in that number 20. He starts P4. Ricky Barfield will be rounding out the top 5. Unfortunately for him, that is the last position in the heat. So he will be the lone driver in row number 3. He sits in the 102 Streeter. And I made a horrible decision of turning my fan off before this broadcast. I've got to reverse that decision. Because, man, oh man, is it getting a little warm. iRacing official pace truck making its way around. We'll get back into our spotter booth. It's all on Nicholas McDougall in the 05. Green flag is out. Along the top for Derek Jester. The track might be worn in enough for the top to work, but we'll just have to wait and find out. Jordan McLean is really enjoying that middle line, but around the outside, Derek Jester laying in that middle to upper middle line. Through 3 and 4, it was really, really good. Through turns 1 and 2, Jordan McLean there on the bottom was really making it stick, really making it work, but now they've swapped positions. Derek Jester now houses himself on that bottom side. Jordan McLean is going to have to get it out the mud. And by mud, I mean the mud up there at the top. Nicholas McDougall in the 05 still leading the way here. Jordan McLean, Derek Jester fighting for that P2. And for P4, Sean Arnold and Ricky Barfield are having a battle of their own, but Ricky Barfield not going to be able to make it stick, or I guess make it slide, I should say, all the way around the corner. He is going to have to cut a corner through the infield, and he is going to be more than likely out of contention for this heat race, but the battle for P2 is still white hot as the 56 and the 5, that's Derek Jester and Jordan McLean respectively, go to war. Jordan McLean now on the bottom trying to jockey for position. He's really trying to figure out where he can be the fastest at. A lot of wheel hop going into turn 1 for Derek Jester there. That's going to kill his momentum. Running up to the leader, 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman last time around, meaning this time around is going to be the white flag. Nicholas McDougall, one more revolution around the track, and he will be your heat race number 2 winner, but Derek Jester might have something to say about that. He tried to squeeze into the bottom, wasn't able to make it work, but he's hooked up and not able to get the momentum he needs, not able to mimic the pace, and Nicholas McDougall, perfect race from him, led every single lap, and he now has a heat race win under his belt here tonight. Heat race number 3 getting started very, very shortly. As we get a good look there, and I mean, listen to him. Revving it up, doing his thing. That is going to be your pole sitter in Tyler Bickford. And for some reason, I couldn't get the... There we go. Couldn't get the grid to show up for a second, but it's going to be Bickford in the 07. Your championship leader. Starting on pole, Chase Copeland, Midwest teammate, going to be starting outside that pole row in P2. Derek Darnell Christopher Perini and Jeffrey Hyatt. Look at that. It's going to be an all-Midwest heat race number 3. And that is something really, really cool to see. As the lights are out on the iRacing official pace truck, we will be green very, very soon. Tyler Bickford gonna get to it early, almost catching up to the pace truck. Get out of there, bro. As Derek Darnell takes the inside, Chase Copeland already down a spot. From P2 to P3, Christopher Perini, the pepperoni pizza man, as it's damn near 4 wide for pole here for the lead. Tyler Bickford in the 07 has a lot of fighting to do. They're 3 wide for P2. Chase Copeland able to get his position back. They're now ripping the top. Jeffrey Hyatt, Derek Darnell are missing out a little bit. When it comes to the pace, it's going to be 15 4s for the top 2, 15 5s for the second 2. 5 laps now to go. Chase Copeland setting purple lap after purple lap. Will he be able to catch up to Bickford? Who knows? Across the line for another lap, and it's going to be another purple lap for Chase Copeland. So 4 laps now to go. Can Copeland continue this run? He is going to hit the wall. That's not going to be good for him, as it's going to be a 15.5 on the lap for him. He's going to run into the wall again. 3 laps to go. Tyler Bickford being very composed, very cool and calm, trying to take it around the bottom there in turns 3 and 4. I'm sure he saw what Copeland was messing up on and said, hey, that is A-okay. I'll take my bottom line. White flag in the air for Tyler Bickford one more time around. Chase Copeland will not have any sort of fight left to give. Jeffrey Hyatt is leaving Derek Darnell, it looks like. So Bickford in the 07 going to get the win. Chase Copeland in P2. Jeffrey Hyatt rounding out the rostrum with the P3. Derek Darnell and Christopher Perini are going to be P4 and 5. So just a small 3-minute warm-up, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be racing here at Cedar Lake. When we come back, it's going to be the main event of the Slingin Dirt Series race night in America. Week number 3, it's the Outlaw Street Stocks, and you're watching it on the OuTPost Racing Network.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does! Weaving back to the left left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and
my
to the
goodness.
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Slingin Dirt Series Race Night in America. The main event for the Outlaw Street Stocks starts right now when you're watching it on the OuTPost Racing Network. My name, Mac Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be your lone voice up here tonight. We'll take a look at the league intel. 13 rounds for this series, as we aren't even a fourth of the way completed. A quarter has not been taken out of this pie. A lot of stories still to be written in the Slingin Dirt series, and we will continue on whatever date I said originally. I believe it was August 7th, if I'm not mistaken. It will be at Volusia, and I believe we'll be going for 75 laps there as well when it comes to the hooked up super late models. The drivers are on track, so that means there's only one thing left to do, and that is go over your starting grid for the race here tonight at Cedar Lake, and it will be your main event of the evening. Joseph Pratt gets the nod for that pole position. Nicholas McDougall in the 05 going to be in P2. Tyler Bickford and Shotzi are going to make up row number 2, with Derek Jester and Chase Copeland rounding out row number 3. Brandon Jones and Jordan McLean are going to see P7 and P8 respectively, with row 5 being populated by Jeffrey Hyatt and T.J. Boyd. Sean Arnold, the Canadian, in the number 20, sits in P11. Derek Darnell in P12. Max Miriovsky is going to be sitting in P13, with Ricky Barfield in the number 102. He sits in P14, and rounding out your grid is going to be Crispy, the pepperoni pizza man himself, in that number 13 in P15. And these drivers will have a lot to fight for here tonight. That is no doubt. We'll get into the spotting booth because we are green. Ladies and gentlemen, 25 laps here at Cedar Lake, and Shotzi is wasting no time trying to make some moves along that top side. He is going to have a hard date with the wall. Coming out of turn number 4, Joseph Pratt sticking to what he knows. He is going to be running that bottom to middle line to try to squeeze every bit of grip, every bit of lap time out of it, before I assume all these drivers are going to be banging it around the top close to that berm. Big battle happening for P3. Derek Jester is looking in towards the battle between Shotzi and Nicholas McDougall. Brandon Schatz is trying everything, quite literally throwing the kitchen sink at him. That's going to be a hard hit on the wall, and he's going to run into the front of Nicholas McDougall there. And just a few cars back, Derek Darnell, the top dog, the top guy, the commish, the owner, the runner, whatever you want to call it. He is currently up 3 spots. Make that 4 now with the pass on Jordan McLean. They are going to be battling for that P8 spot. Same thing goes for Copeland and Hyatt. Copeland taking high, Hyatt taking low. And look at that, Shotzi still. We'll get a little bit of a zoom in on that. Shotzi is all over the 0-5 of Nicholas McDougal, but he just can't convert on a good run. He keeps hitting the wall. And he is destroying the back right of that car. The 0-5 of Nicholas McDougal still trying to find some sort of gravity, some sort of rhythm here in this race. He's been challenged almost every single lap. He hasn't really got to settle in and run his lines. Jeffrey Hyatt has managed to get way up the road from Copeland. You can see the Chase Copeland Academy on the hood of that 110. As Hyatt now jockeying for position against Derek Jester. Jester's going to wash up. That's going to be advantage Hyatt for now through turns 3 and 4. Going to be 16 laps to go now. The number 2 street stock of Jeffrey Hyatt looking to make anything he can work against Derek Jester. That is going to be the move solidified. And Jeffrey Hyatt now sits in P3. Joseph Pratt has lost the lead to Tyler Bickford. As we have 15 laps to go here, Tyler Bickford started to settle it down on the bottom now that he managed to get around Joseph Pratt. And now it's just a matter of defense for Tyler Bickford. He has to make the home stand, defend this house, like the old Under Armour slogan. And we are going to have our first caution of the night, and it looks like Ricky Barfield might have had a little bit of a moment. We'll go back and take a look. Yeah, Ricky Barfield, unfortunately, just not able to make the car slide. The wheels caught very early on into the setting of that corner. I believe that's turn number 3 there. Same thing happened to him in the heat race. So unfortunately for Ricky Barfield, just not going to be his night when it comes to the street stock race here tonight. But he has every opportunity to join right back up when we run it back in our Hooked Up Super Late Model Series that will be coming up right after this. Tyler Bickford still maintaining the lead, and he will look to further his championship run, his championship lead. And before the season started, Tyler Bickford was incredibly excited to get this Outlaw Street Stock season underway. He loves driving these things. And to be honest, they are a whole ball of fun. I agree. I think yes, they're slow, but they are incredibly fun to drive. And look at how close the racing is here. Jeffrey Hyatt looking to take advantage of the number 71 Jamaican driver of Joseph Pratt. Along the top side, Jeffrey Hyatt still going to believe in the bottom line, much as Tyler Bickford is now doing. There is a whole gaggle of cars trying to make the top side work. Tyler Bickford has now moved there. Joseph Pratt moving there. Shotzi, Jordan McLean as well. But through turns 3 and 4, Bickford, our leader, still loving that bottom line. But when it comes to 1 and 2, he loves ripping it around the top. And look at Shotzi now, trying to get around the 56 of Derek Jester. He will do just that. I believe he's going to have the better run. Coming out of turns number 3 and 4. Almost a full car length ahead, but Tyler Bickford now opting to go to the top for turns 3 and 4. 8 laps to go. Jeffrey Hyatt with a very bad turn 1 and 2 there, going to almost kill his run. And look at Brandon Schatz along the top, but he just couldn't make it work. Schatz keeps getting all these good runs. He'll have 2 or 3 laps where he's ripping, about to make the overtake, and just a little bit of a wall tap there, and you see it. And I don't know, I think it's slowing him down. I'm almost positive it's slowing him down. That looks like a little too hard of a wall tap for it to be advantageous. Jeffrey Hyatt now in the number 2, electing to go down low. Tyler Bickford still in very much control of this lead. And not only is he in control of the lead, he's in control of the championship standings. Already going to be leading this Outlaw Street Stock class. And with a win tonight, it's only going to further that. Jeffrey Hyatt in a drag race with Joseph Pratt will get you a zoomed-in look on that. 4 laps to go. This is for P2, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey Hyatt throwing what he knows down low. The 71 of Joseph Pratt has no choice but to try to get it done around the outside. 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman indicates that we only have 2 more trips around this track before we declare a winner. Joseph Pratt now getting in his bag, trying to figure out how to make this work. Hyatt's gonna wash up 3 and 4, white flag. Pratt now has the advantage by being on the inside. Unfortunately for our leader and winner, Tyler Bickford, he is not going to get too much screen time on his final lap because we have got a battle that is going to be won by Jeffrey Hyatt. That will get him P2, but our winner of the... Oh my goodness, I just tried to combine words there. Of the Slingin Dirt Series Outlaw Street Stock main event here at Cedar Lake is going to go to the 07 of Tyler Bickford. Jeffrey Hyatt in P2, Joseph Pratt in P3. Jeffrey Hyatt up 7 positions. There's a look at your podium, at your rostrum. As that was an incredible way to kick off the night. And ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because the Hooked Up Super Late Model Series is going to be starting very, very shortly here at the same track. And for our post-race show, we're going to be talking to our winner here tonight in the 07 Street Stock, going to be Tyler Bickford. Also, championship leader. How are you doing tonight, Tyler? How did it feel out there?
Felt great. Had a lot of good racing there with Pratt, and then Joseph came and tagged, or not Joseph, my bad. Jeffrey came and tagged along. I just happened to figure out the top there on those closing laps.
Yeah, I mean, you were flying, and I know you're invested in this series a little more than our Hooked Up Super Late Model Series. You've always loved running street stocks, and how does it feel not only being the leader coming into this round, but also extending that lead with another win here tonight?
I can't be too far in front. Jeffrey's gotten second every week, so he's got to be right there. But yeah, man, it feels good. I'm just happy to place up in the podium and have good races.
Yes, sir. And I mean, they're good races, fun races to watch as well. And before we let you get out of here and get warmed up for the Super Late Model race here, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out for the win?
You for the broadcast as always. Slingin Dirt for putting this deal on. Midwest Sim Sports, CFM, Tommy Gun Designs for this wrap. Also Jeffrey Hyatt for my late model wraps, and everybody else in the car, man.
Yes, sir. Well, it was good talking to you, Tyler, and hope to see you back up here again either soon in the Street Stock Series or maybe tonight in the Super Late Model Series.
I'll be running late models, so I'll probably be around 10th, though.
And always cutting jokes, Tyler Bickford. Wonderful, wonderful race from him. We move on to our P2 finisher, Jeffrey Hyatt, and he manages to get another second place here tonight. Jeffrey, how you feeling?
I'm good, Mac. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. And in the beginning there, it looked like you were having an insane battle with, I believe it was the 05 of McDougal, but fast forward to the end of the race, you caught yourself in another battle with Joseph Pratt. How did it feel to constantly be under some sort of pressure in this race?
Yeah, I missed qualifying, so kind of had to start in the back of the heat, and I think I gained like 1 or 2 spots in that. So I started P9th, and I tried to just kind of run the bottom and pass as many as I could. Then that caution come out, and I thought I had something for him. I kind of started messing up on the bottom and hit the tires a couple of times, and Bicky got away, and I couldn't really never get clear of Pratt. I think if I had one more caution, I might have could have gave Bicky a run. But hey, take it again.
Yeah, second again, and it looks like you and Bickford are going to be fighting tooth and nail for probably the entire season on this championship. How's it feel to not only be one of the fastest street stocks here, but also that you're getting to battle a friend, a teammate in Tyler Bickford? It's kind of, I guess, probably relaxing, I would assume, knowing that, more than likely no shenanigans, no horseplay is going to happen.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. You always know that he's gonna run me clean, and I'm gonna try and run him as clean as possible. And yeah, like just making my way up through the field. A lot of these guys are kind of on our teammates, so I didn't want to really get into anybody. So I was kind of probably babying the car more than I should. But hey, it still worked out. I don't know. These street stocks seem to kind of suit me a good bit, and probably need to start running them a lot more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're fun to watch, and it was really, really interesting to see how you guys were manipulating the track, choosing the lines throughout the course of this feature. But before we let you get out of here and warm up for that super late model race, if you plan on running it, is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance here?
Yeah, always Midwest Sim Sports. Appreciate Darnell for what he's doing here with the street stocks and the supers. Always appreciate what you do, broadcasting everything, and everything that you got going on, kind of giving us some money to race for and stuff too.
Yes, sir, Mr. Hyatt. Well, I look forward to seeing you also in the super late model race here tonight, but more importantly, here in the Outlaw Street Stock Series, you got a real good chance at the championship. I'm sure you're going to be gunning for it, but we'll let you warm up. That is going to be your P2 finisher here in the Street Stocks, Mr. Jeffrey Hyatt. And
mine's just so big, I can bend it round and put it in my own.
Okay, all right. That is not what I expected to hear, ladies and gentlemen, from our last driver in the waiting room. So with that being said, we are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be the Hooked Up Super Late Model Series live on the OuTPost Racing Network.
Can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds McDonald's is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's gonna hold the inside, tries to be the late breaker here. They're gonna be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and
my
to the
goodness.
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
so much later. Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and
my
to the
goodness.
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Well, that one's embarrassing. We'll try it again with my mic unmuted this time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The OuTPost Racing Network. Deja vu. We're doing it all over again, except this time it's going to be in our hooked up super late models. We'll bring up your championship points one more time. Now, granted, our Outlaw Street Stock Series is not updated from the race we just had, so ignore that for now. But heading into round 3 tonight at Cedar Lake, Aiden Lewis, who is currently going to be 9th on the boards for time in practice. He will be leading the way in the championship, 320 points. Tyler Bickford, oh so close behind him with 315. Eric Zulske only 2 points behind him at 313, and another 2 behind him will sit Chase Copeland in the 110 at 301 points. Your 5th place championship sitter goes to Clifford Driscoll, Jeffrey Hyatt, Dylan Jones. They're having a very close battle for P6 in the championship. P8 is going to be held by Derek Darnell. Jordan McLean and Brandon Schatz are going to be 282 and 281 respectively. That will close out the top 10 in our championship standings here in the Hooked Up Super Late Model Series. Well, it's race night in America. Drivers are starting their qualifying run. We'll take a look at Brandon Schatz in that beautiful number 34. He will be sitting on pole currently with a 13.29. Tyler Bickford going to be right behind him, but Eric Zulske in the number 35 has brought it around to 13.25. And because we're doing a different series here, completely different cars, I'm going to hit a little bit of a re-download on our paints, because the scheme I'm looking at right now for Eric Zulske almost doesn't look correct, but I guess maybe it is. We'll go take a look at someone else, maybe say like Jordan McLean here. Yes, that is his custom number 5, no doubt about that. Dylan Jones is rocking that NOS number 9, so I believe we might be fine. I think we might be fine. Everything is probably updated. I just didn't want any cars to look different than how the drivers wanted them to look. Big shout out to RK Racing, Richard Call Racing, I believe. That's really bad of me that I'm not 100% sure of that. Appreciate them for the generosity and the patronage towards the league. Also, I mean, obviously, we got to shout out the Slingin Dirt Series itself, presented by Star Race Cars. Very fantastic setup here. We're only 3 weeks in. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got 13 to go through. And the vibes have been nothing but immaculate for these first 3 rounds. And I'm sure we're going to see another incredible show here tonight for our hooked up super late models. Eric Zulske is going to top the timing tower. We'll expand that and you can get a little look at everything before the heat race gets started here. I assume we're going to be having 8-lap heats again here, ladies and gentlemen, so do not fret. As we'll get into our starting grid for heat race number 1 here in our hooked up super late models, it's going to see Eric Zulske on pole with a 13.247. Brandon Schatz of Midwest Sim Sports is going to be sitting P2 with Tyler Bickford and Brandon Jones taking up row number 2. Row number 3 is going to go to Timothy Mesemer Jr. and Nicholas McDougall. Crispy in P7 with Derek Jester in P8. Sean Arnold in P9. And Aaron McGee rounding out the grid and also that top 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed those Outlaw Street Stocks. I know I did. That was incredibly entertaining. As I'm sure we're about to have another show here from these hooked up super late models. Look at them all perusing the track. We will get back up into our spotter booth as we are green with some super late models. These are going to make a little bit more noise than those street stocks. That is for sure. Might have to get a little bit of a turn down on the volume dial. Because, man, do these cars love to roar. Around the top is Eric Zulske. Brandon Schatz is also going to follow him. And much like in the Outlaw Street Stock race, Brandon Schatz has found himself tapping the wall already. But these look a lot cleaner, a lot more precise. Very methodical. Tyler Bickford around the bottom. Also much like his Outlaw Street Stock race. But these cars are going to be running a lot faster lap times. Brandon Jones is fighting Timothy Mesemer Jr. as Aaron McGee is battling Christopher Perini there. I was looking for a pepperoni pizza. Didn't see one there. Perini trying to hit the crossover on Sean Arnold. Almost an absolutely perfect move. Unfortunately, not going to fall in the way of him this time around. Brandon Jones in the number 15, being sized up by the 327. That's Mesemer Jr. Tyler Bickford, P3 currently, P2 in the championship standings. He would really like a heat race win here, but it was 2 sticks up by Barney the Flagman. We're already concluding our heat race. I was so used to the street stocks that I thought we had a little more time here, but Eric Zulske in that super late model, that number 35, he's repping Fanatec, he's repping Logitech, and he is going to get it done on the banks of Cedar Lake. Heat race number 1 goes to him. Brandon Schatz and Tyler Bickford are going to round out the rostrum as they will be our top 3 finishers here. And now it's time for heat race number 2. We'll get you that grid. Our championship leader is going to also be the pole sitter for heat race number 2 here. Aiden Lewis in the number 55 ran himself a 13.286. Just behind him sits Dylan Jones in the number 32. Jordan McLean and Chase Copeland. Copeland repping the Monaco. He is a Monacan driver, allegedly. Like Charles, I'm just going to start calling him Charles Copeland. There we go. Jeffrey Hyatt in P5. Derek Darnell, the boss man, the commish. Outside row number 3, TJ Boyd and Ricky Barfield are going to be sitting in row number 4 with Clifford Driscoll, part of 3D Racing, sitting in P9 with Bentley Stewart. Rounding out the grid, we get a very good look at the number 55 of Aiden Lewis there. Very, very clean wrap on that XR2 rocket chassis. Spec mapped to absolute perfection, might I add. Oof. Man, those schemes look good. The dirt community, man, I'm telling you. Whoa, Derek Darnell is not moving. His super late model stationary. It's going to be an engine malfunction for him. Not how you want to start the night if you're Derek Darnell. Couldn't get the car to start, couldn't get it off the line. As I really don't know what had happened there, but I assume something happened. Now, as the pace truck will probably pull up to the outside. Yes, it will. Aiden Lewis has the button. Is he going to outrun the pace truck? Oh, he's going to hit it. He hit it. That's an insurance claim for the racetrack. Aiden Lewis in the number 55 gets us started here. For heat race number 2, Dylan Jones trying to cut him off down on the bottom side of him in that NOS number 9. Not able to get anything to stick here. Chase Copeland and Jordan McLean are high-lowing, trying to grab an advantage on the other driver. Aiden Lewis still firmly in the lead. Look at Chase Copeland around the top. Absolutely ripping. He's going to have the momentum to get around Jordan McLean. Jordan McLean still going to opt for that bottom side line. Chase Copeland now all over the rear end of Dylan Jones. Going to throw a slider. It is going to land Dylan Jones with a cut down. Going to negate that move. Slider line again being thrown by Copeland. It's a drag race to the start-finish line. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to do it again, and Copeland's going to park it on the nose of Dylan Jones. Dylan Jones going to be able to get around him easy squeezy. Aiden Lewis is loving this because it means he is going to march to another heat race win. And hopefully marching to another win if you are inside the mind of Aiden Lewis. Chase Copeland going to hit the wall hard in turns 3 and 4 and then again in turns 1 and 2. And he is going to collide with Clifford Driscoll. Oh no, 1 lap to go, but we are gonna be yellow. Absolute nightmare fuel for the 110 of Copeland. So you see right there, as the replay started, he had hit the wall into 3 and 4, hit it again big time into 1 and 2, lost all control of his car, I'd assume, at that point. And it was nothing but a match of pinball after that. So Chase Copeland running out of talent. Not able to get it done. He'll have to sit his butt in the pits until the main event. As I did not mean for that to be going on for that long. Aiden Lewis still in firm control here in this heat. I believe we'll be doing a single file restart here. That's what it looks like. As we'll get a better idea of how many laps are actually left as soon as we go green. The iRacing SDK likes counting caution laps even if they don't actually count. But it does look like it's going to naturally just be 1 lap remaining as Aiden Lewis crosses the line. And I think that might just be that. Dylan Jones going to come home P2. Jordan McLean is going to step up and actually get the bottom spot of the rostrum there. as we head into a small warm-up. And I know you guys hate it, but it's going to be our final commercial break of the night. When we come back, it's the main event of the Hooked Up Super Late Models here at Cedar Lake, and it's live on the OuTPost Racing Network.
Has to defend this contact very nearly. He just to the outside line. He breaks so much later. Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and
my
to the
goodness.
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Slingin Dirt Series Race Night in America, and we are gridding up. Yes, I said it, we are gridding up for our main event of the evening. So let's go right on ahead from the intro song, and let's go ahead and run that grid anthem. This is your starting grid for the round number 3 hooked up super late model race. I almost said Outlaw Street Stock, but I didn't, so it doesn't count. Eric Zulske is going to be on pole in that number 35. Aiden Lewis, the championship leader, starting just to his outside. Brandon Schatz and Dylan Jones. We'll be seeing row number 2 with Tyler Bickford and Jordan McLean battling it out in row number 3. Timothy Mesimer Jr., part of M9 Performance, is going to be firmly sat in P7 with Jeffrey Hyatt in P8. Brandon Jones and TJ Boyd are going to be rounding out your top 10 with Aaron McGee and Ricky Barfield taking us to P12. Crispy Mr. Christopher Perini is going to be in P13 in the number 13. Chase Copeland sitting on the outside of row number 7 after that horrible performance in his heat race. Sean Arnold is going to be in P15 in that number 20, representing Canada, with Clifford Driscoll on his outside in the number 63. Nicholas McDougall and Derek Darnell will be our drivers in row number 9, with Derek Jester and Bentley Stewart rounding out the grid. Eric Zulske is off to the races, and that means we are live. 75 laps for the hooked up super late models here live on the OuTPost Racing Network. Aiden Lewis already in a big battle with the number 34 of Brandon Schatz. Dylan Jones in that NOS 9, trying to insert himself into the picture as well. Jordan McLean doing the exact same thing as him. Tyler Bickford already down 2 spots. That's not how he wanted this main event to start, but there's a lot of racing that we have to do here at Cedar Lake before we decide a winner. 13.93 is going to be the lap submitted by Eric Zulske on our first full green flag lap. Coming back around the clock, it's going to be a 13.62, or a 13.72, I apologize. For him, Aiden Lewis now basically, he's the shepherd right now. He's got everybody behind him. He's chasing the leader in Zulske, 3 wide for P3. Jordan McLean's going to be the big miss on that exchange because Brandon Schatz is cruising around the top. Look at him go. What a night so far for Brandon Schatz. He did all right in the street stock race, but here in the super late models, he is putting a whole new definition to the phrase hooked up. That is exactly how his super late model is driving. He is cruising in that P2 spot. We're gonna have a caution flag out as Bentley Stewart is going to be firmly parked with 3 tires here at the start-finish stripe. We'll go take a look at what exact... Whoa. 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 Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. I think this one deserves to be backed up a little bit. We're on board with Ricky Barfield here. He tries to set the car, and the car just doesn't set. It looks, I mean, to a blind eye, if you didn't get to see his wheel rotation, you'd think it was just a straight line. I don't think there was any malicious intent. Ricky Barfield just could not get his car sat in to turn number 1. But man, oh man, did that look spicy from the outside looking in. As we got Richard Call in chat. head guy at RK Racing. I mean, it's his name in front of the racing, so you know he's got to be that top guy. 6-7 laps remaining here as we go green for a second time. Eric Zulske in the number 35, going to be rivaled by the driver, one spot down and one number down. It's going to be the 34 of Brandon Schatz, who sits in P2. Dylan Jones in that NOS 9, been very, very impressive so far here tonight, but we're only 9, almost 10 laps in. These drivers are going to be vying for position, but they're also going to be vying for longevity, much like the 76 of Jeffrey Hyatt that we see here. We know he loves taking it slow in the early game, or in the early race, I should say. He likes to amp up the pressure and his pace the later we get into the race. Now, he has gone on record and say that he thinks he races maybe a little too slow. He thinks he might not give himself enough time to get to the front and actually battle. We'll see if that is refined here tonight or if he slips back into the same old habit. Big battle now going on here in front of Derek Jester. That's going to be between Sean Arnold and Christopher Perini. As Crispy in that number 13, the sunlight reflecting off that paint almost looks exactly like the OuTPost Racing Network colors. So that's cool to see. That is going to be a big shunt into the wall for the rear right of Perini. Gonna cut down in front of Sean Arnold. I'm sure the Canadian driver isn't going to like that one too much. We'll take a look here at Chase Copeland ripping the top side, trying to get around the number 07 of Tyler Bickford. We're going to have another incident. It's going to be Bentley Stewart. Once again, we'll have a look, and he is going to wash up. Get all up in the grill of the 56 of Jester there, and Jester going to do essentially that again. But he is going to end up on his lid. Oh no. As it looks like, once again, I don't know a dang thing about dirt really, but it looks like there might be a little bit of spice amping up towards the back of the field involving the likes of Barfield, Jester, Stewart as well. And Jeffrey Hyatt is sat still. He is going to get things back underway here. TJ Boyd going to be down 6 spots as well into P16. A lot of weird things are happening here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but we are already going to get started again. 59 laps to go here. Brandon Schatz still on top of his game. I almost said the world, but then I realized now it's really Eric Zulske who is on top of the world. He is leading things, and he is doing so in a dominant fashion. Here tonight at Cedar Lake, Brandon Schatz, a little bit of a relationship with the wall there coming out of turn number 2. That's going to let Aiden Lewis apply some sort of pressure along the top side. Aiden Lewis is flying. He's got to try to find a way to get around Brandon Schatz, and we are going to go yellow again, and it looks like Christopher Perini might be who we see in trouble this time. We're already at the replay, ladies and gentlemen, coming across the stripe. Boom! That is a very big hit into the wall, going to collect. I'm not sure who that was. It was a purple car. Very, very unfortunate from the side of Perini there. He does not have a front end anymore, so he's more than likely gonna have to get something sorted about that. Jeffrey Hyatt is once again just parked on the bottom side of the track. Maybe a real life issue, I guess, because I mean, if you're asking me, iRacing is the real life world here. Everything else is just VR chat to me. But no, I'm just kidding. But Jeffrey Hyatt, probably either some sort of mechanical issue, maybe with his equipment, maybe wheel pedals, something of the sort, or something, you know, completely different. Either way, he seems to be fine. He's getting back going here. So we'll have to find out. Eric Zulske perched along the top, as we'll have what I believe might be one more lap for the iRacing official pace truck. Lights are, yes, going to go out. So we will be good and green next time by. Eric Zulske, I'm sure he would love if there wasn't another yellow flag here in this race. 53 laps to go, still a ton of racing to do. Cut down line is how Eric Zulske initiates this green flag run, and we are green for 56 laps. I apologize, not going to be 53. As driver of the day so far, gotta be Brandon Schatz here, man. Look at him go. To be fair, though, the NOS number 9 of Dylan Jones has been putting up a very good effort here as well. Aiden Lewis, your championship leader, cannot seem to do much better than where he sits right now. I believe it's 4th, and we are going to have another yellow flag out here. It's going to go towards TJ Boyd here. We'll see what happens heading into turns number 3 and 4. Just, oh my goodness! Along the wall, he was crowd surfing for a second. It was like that cool moment in Death Race, if you ever watched that when you were kids. When he rides along the wall to avoid the RPG or what. Yeah, you guys know. Death Race was a classic, man. So Eric Zulske still going to be at the helm, followed by Brandon Schatz and Dylan Jones. And I'm not, okay, I thought maybe I was reading that correctly, but I do not believe I am. Aiden Lewis is going to be in P4 with Chase Copeland in P5. Ignore the timing tower, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little messed up. We're going to get things started here. Or we're going to get things resorted, I assume. Once we hit green, it should kind of fall into place. I'm not entirely sure why the iRacing SDK timing tower does it, but it's just always done it for me. It'll reset. It'll be fine once we take the green. Big shuffle. Don't worry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but Eric Zulske is still going to be out in front, still looking to keep the pace up, keep the pressure up for Brandon Schatz. But while he watches Eric Zulske get a little smaller up the track each lap, he's also got Dylan Jones with an immense amount of pressure being applied to him directly behind. Aiden Lewis a little shallow on his corner entry into turn 1 and 2. I believe he might need to back it up just a tiny bit if he wants to keep pace. And as you see, he does it again there. Chase Copeland going to be all over him now. P5 for Copeland. He is 9 spots up. Started this race in P14. Now finds himself on the edge of a top 5. As Aiden Lewis is going to be able to get around him. Timothy Mesimer Jr. not going to enjoy what Copeland has done to him there, but Mesimer Jr. now getting some pressure by Jordan McLean. Going to be a little bit of a wall tap from McLean. Tyler Bickford in the 07. He sits P2 in the championships here in the hooked up super late models. He really needs a good result here, especially needing to get close to Aiden Lewis, but they are currently 4 spots from each other. Aiden Lewis going to score a lot more points than Bickford if these standings hold. Brandon Schatz now starting to see a little bit of pressure, starting to see a little bit of pace fall off. He got into a shaky situation there with the NOS number 9, I should say. of Dylan Jones. That's going to back those two up, and it's going to introduce a whole new problem for one Tyler Bickford, because now Aiden Lewis is within perfect striking range of getting P2, and he's going to try to take P3 from Brandon Schatz right there. He is going to do exactly that. Chase Copeland quickly in tow. Brandon Schatz is hemorrhaging positions. He's got to find a way to get back up top. And it's going to be another yellow flag, our 5th of the night. As it looks like Derek Jester has had a moment in the number 56. Oh, no. It's going to be Sean Arnold, actually. It gets started with him. Shout out to the 63, though. I'm not entirely sure. That is going to be Clifford Driscoll, actually. He was the car we talked about earlier getting collected. He manages to barely slide through there. And if we go take another look at Sean Arnold, I think maybe our drama isn't over. As I'm trying to figure out, it says Ricky Barfield also had a crash. We'll go take a look. Oh, yeah, that is what will do it. As these super late models are proving to be tricky for a couple of these drivers now, as the sun sets here in Wisconsin. A virtual Wisconsin, I should say. Beautiful, beautiful sunset on the horizon. And Eric Zulske is going to get things started again for us. A little bit of a connectivity issue, or a blink, some might say, for the NOS number 9 of Dylan Jones. He is going to split the defense between Aiden Lewis and Brandon Schatz. Way to get yourself out of a sticky situation there, kid. As Eric Zulske still going to be firmly in the lead, but he now has Aiden Lewis right behind him. This is going to be your championship leader, looking to extend the championship lead. Tyler Bickford still sitting in a very unadvantageous P8. This is not the result he wants to see. Only 39 laps left. That is going to go by very, very quickly, I would imagine. Because these super late models are ripping 13, 14-second laps. So in just a few minutes, if we don't have any yellows, we'll be getting down to the nitty-gritty here. But what a fantastic race it's been so far for Brandon Schatz. He had a little bit of a moment last green flag run. He started hemorrhaging positions. His name just kept descending down the running order, but he now has firmly found a spot in P3. Chase Copeland up 10 spots into P4. Looking to make something happen here in that number 110. Into turns number 3 and 4. Brandon Schatz isn't going to have a good corner, but neither is Copeland. But it is going to be a little bit of a wall tap, so barring any damage, he should be able to keep his momentum pretty square. He's going to go for a cut down on Brandon Schatz, not able to close the gap as much as he would have liked. But Schatzy for sure feeling the pressure now, just like the Call of Duty Schatzy was at Champs just a few days ago. FaZe Vegas taking the win in Las Vegas, getting their second CDL championship in just a few years. Going to be Chris Lair's third ring from him. Chase Copeland, speaking of third, trying to achieve that with Brandon Schatz, but he's got the 327 of Timothy Mesmer Jr. all over him. And Mesmer Jr., might I add, is up 2 spots. Bentley Stewart has somehow found himself in P8 after everything that he has been riddled with so far in this race. He's up 12 spots. He started the race in dead last. Now sits inside the top 10. Same story for the number 63 of Clifford Driscoll, who is up 7 spots. Aaron McGee, unfortunately, only going to be up 1 spot currently. He is in P10. He's on the very last spot for that top 10. Nicholas McDougall and Derek Darnell just behind him are having a big battle for P11. As here comes Jordan, I apologize. That is not Jordan McLean. That is Nicholas McDougall. I saw 5 and immediately said Jordan McLean. I do so dearly apologize. Brandon Jones in the number 15 trying to rip it around top. Going to try to split the defense between Darnell and McDougall. Not going to allow that to happen. And now we see a lot of separation in the track now. Eric Zulske starting to catch up to a couple of these cars. Back markers are going to be a big, big problem for one Eric Zulske. Slider thrown by Aiden Lewis, not able to secure the position. Cut down by Zulske. Gets him that position back, and it's going to be a horrendous turn 3 and 4 for Aiden Lewis. So his eyes currently are going to go from battling for the lead to keeping this second place. Chase Copeland on a heater right now. He had a good street stock race. He's looking to have an even better super late model race here now. In the number 110, trying to track down our championship leader. We're just north of 20 laps to go. It's going to be 21. When our leader, Eric Zulske, crosses the line, he just did. Aiden Lewis has got an immense amount of pace right now. He's running about 0.2 a second faster than Zulske and Copeland. So if you're the likes of Aiden Lewis, you do not want a yellow right now. You want to keep riding this high. You want nothing to change because you are the fastest car out on track right now. He's chipping into that lead on Eric Zulske. It's going to be a failed slider thrown, and he's just going to choose to abort it and make sure Chase Copeland doesn't take advantage. So good on Aiden Lewis. He's going to keep that P2 spot, but Chase Copeland on the hunt. Brandon Schatz is still fighting for this podium. He currently sits P4. If he finishes P4, I believe this will be the best finish on the season for Brandon Schatz if we're talking about the Hooked Up Super Late Model Series. Tyler Bickford has managed to climb his way a few spots. When we last checked in with him, he was in P9 in that 07 Super Late Model, but he now sits in P5. Looking to try to get something done, but the lap time just isn't there. He's running almost identical pace to all the drivers in front of him. So it's going to be very tough for him to make up any ground, and it's very heartbreaking for him. After such a good performance in the Outlaw Street Stocks, I'm sure that fed into a little bit of confidence. Heading into the super late models, everything started to look good for him. But after the start, it kind of just kept trickling down. He's trying to save as much as he can here in the championship indention. He is going to rest where he started, though, in P5. 12 laps remaining, and it's going to be an error from Eric Zulske. As soon as we switch on to him, that's going to be 2 spots lost, maybe 3. He's in a drag race with Brandon Schatz, managing to keep that in tow. So it's going to be P3 for Eric Zulske. It now turns to a battle for the lead. 4 cars have the opportunity of winning it. Tyler Bickford is also trying to sneak in. He sits in P5. Eric Zulske tried to go down low for turns 1 and 2. Brandon Schatz, an incredible run, is going to propel him past Eric Zulske. So in the matter of 2 laps, it's nightmare fuel for Zulske because he has got a very, very angry Tyler Bickford sitting right behind him. And I know for a fact he is going to want to try to climb even higher. Slider thrown on the Brandon Schatz. There's going to be contact between the front end of Schatz and the back end of Eric Zulske. 7 laps to go here at Cedar Lake. Round 3 of the Slingin Dirt Series Race Night in America. Hooked up super late models. It's a mouthful, but damn is it fire. Chase Copeland now trying to find a way around Aiden Lewis. This would be, I believe, his first win in the hooked up super late models, and we're going to have a yellow because there's a car spun out. Not sure who it was. Might have been Sean Arnold. Whoa, what an electric run there. What a horrible series of events for the number 35 of Eric Zulske. And if that doesn't get you hyped up about some dirt racing, I don't know what will. Absolutely incredible run. We turn now to Tyler Bickford. Brandon Schatz fighting with Zulske. A little bit of a wall tap for Zulske, and oh my goodness, yeah, big collection there. And it's going to be off the heels of what Sean Arnold has done here. He's going to clip the right rear on the wall. Oh, no. Not ideal for him at all. So things were for sure heating up here in the hooked up super late models, and we're going back green almost immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 laps remaining. Going to be a 5-lap shootout for these drivers. Eric Zulske has managed to get his way back up into 3rd. Tyler Bickford sees 12th. Going to be a very traumatic race for him in the championship hunt. Good for him, though, that we still have 10 rounds after this race here tonight. 4 laps to go. Aiden Lewis, your championship leader, is going to lead the way. 3 laps now to go. Chase Copeland is on the hunt. Last lap, it is going to be a 10th faster in favor of Copeland, hitting the wall there in turn 3, transitioning to turn number 4. 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flag Man, which means there are 2 trips around the track left. And out of turn number 4, Aiden Lewis is going to see the white flag. 74 laps done, only 1 to go. Copeland might have himself a move here. Slider down on the inside. It's not really going to be a slider. He's not able to do it. Aiden Lewis is going to win again. Here in the hooked up super late models, Chase Copeland walking home P2. Eric Zulske, after a dominant performance for 85% of this race, he is going to see 1 mistake. And that mistake cost him 2 spots, and he finishes on the bottom step of that rostrum. There's a very good look at your top 3 there. And we'll zip right into our post-race interviews here, starting with the number 35 driver. He finishes on the bottom step of the rostrum here tonight, Eric Zulske. Eric, how you feeling, man?
Kind of frustrated myself. I don't know. I think my car just fell off at those last 20 or 30 laps and let him get by me.
Yeah, you seem to be absolutely dominant for what I said in the broadcast was about 85% of the race. You had just 1 minor mistake, it looked like, heading out of turn number 2, I should say. I believe you might have accidentally clipped the pit wall where it kind of comes into the track. At least that's what it looked like on my end. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how's it feel, man, considering you were dominant? I mean, that's the only word to describe it. It was absolute dominance there until the very end, like you said.
it's nice knowing that I had the speed I needed, but it's kind of leaves this whole night on a sour note. But all in all, still a good points race for the overall championship. But just just needed a few less mistakes on the top. But all in all, a good race.
Yeah, no doubt a good race, but you can leave with your head high because I'm pretty sure you have overtaken Tyler Bickford for P2 in that championship. Now, I do want to ask, we head to Volusia in 2 weeks' time. After seeing Cedar Lake and kind of, a caution-filled race here, what do you expect once we head down to Florida in 2 weeks' time?
I honestly really don't know. I don't run too many open races, so I'm not sure if Volusia's I'm sure it's going to be a cleaner overall race, but you never know. Just get one bad apple or one person make a mistake. If you have 10 people making mistakes, that's 10 cautions. So you really don't know. Also depends on how slick the track's going to be. So it should be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, without a doubt, but you got P3 here tonight, going to be on the bottom step of that rostrum. Is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance here tonight?
Big thank you to Derek Darnell for putting this league on, for you broadcasting this, and that's about it. I really don't got much team support, so kind of a lone wolf out here.
Well, a lone wolf, you finish P3 in what seems like a land of team racing here. Hopefully I get to talk to you a little more throughout the season. Your pace is obviously elite, but we're going to let you get out and, at the end of the day, it is still a celebratory cause. You got P3, so congratulations to the number 35 super late model of Eric Zulske.
Thank you.
And now we move on to P2 finisher, Chase Copeland. Now, Chase, I want to start this interview off by saying you ran out of talent pretty hard in that heat. How'd you kind of recalibrate, refocus for the main event? And more importantly, how'd you keep your head on straight and walk home with a P2 here?
Yeah, we had the Timu ball joints on the right front in the heat, and like I said, the monkey in the seat just did not know what he was doing. I don't know. I just got to lock back in. Honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm washed, and I don't know. Yeah, we did our best, and the best wasn't good enough, but we got a nose damage early on in the feature, and I really didn't know how bad it was. I asked Aiden, he said I had to hold in the left front, and then I think we got it again later in the race too that messed up the right front, but if I knew it was that bad, I might have pitted, but we were able to stay out and get second. I really think that killed us for most of the race, even with Cedar just being a smaller track. Nose damage in the current build absolutely kills you, but all in all, not bad. Really good racing up front and in the back. I think we started 14th and made our way up to second, so we'll take it.
Yeah, that is correct. You started the night in P14, up 12 spots into P2. Now, 75 laps, we saw what I believe was 7 cautions here tonight. So how was that not really able to get a big green flag run? And it was a lot of start, stop, I should say. Start, stop. So, how did that feel? And do you think it hurt you or help you?
Yeah, I think all the cautions hurt me more than anybody because I think I was on lower air than probably anybody else out in the field too, just trying to try something. And it was really good there at the end, even with the nose damage. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the current build of iRacing. There's a lot of people like Derek and everybody else is trying to do a lot for the community with the leagues and putting on the money shows. And this is just kind of the build that we have to where we can run the bottom for maybe about 10 laps and then we immediately go to the top, especially at Cedar, and that's just kind of what you got to hone in on. And this wall is really tricky and it's easy to get wadded up, and I think that's where a lot of the yellows came from. We're just guys kind of getting in a little too hot on their entry and probably getting into the wall and breaking the right front like I did in the heat. But we take what we can get. It's a lot better than NASCAR 25, so can't complain too much, I guess.
Yeah, a lot better than the World of Outlaws dirt game, I'm sure. But you got P2 here tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe that ties your best performance here. I believe you got P2 in another week. I might be completely wrong in saying that. But Do you have anybody you want to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
Yeah, always. Majula C Speed Shop for keeping us fast. All of our homies over at Midwest Sim Sports for making racing fun. Derek and everybody that's involved with this, with Slingin Dirt Racing Night in America, for giving us something to do on a Friday night, run for some money with the street stocks and the super lates. This is one of the most enjoyable leagues out there. You for putting on the broadcast and aces and eights for the wraps. And yeah, I love you. Good night. I'm going to bed.
All right, that is going to be P2 Chase Copeland with his interview there. We're going to move to the winner of the race here tonight, Aiden Lewis in the number 55. Not only is it a win for him, going to be a further indention in that championship lead. Aiden, how are you feeling?
Buddy, I am freaking tired. My heart's beating. I'm tired. I'm worn out. But hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. And there was a lot of pressure that you were under towards the beginning of this race, and it seemed like Brandon Schatz, for one, that was a wild card. I mean, not to downplay him, but he had an incredible first probably 60% of this race. So, when kind of a new contender or a wild card gets up there, does it kind of change your frame of mind on how things might go? Does it kind of change your strategy a little bit when there's a new guy in the mix?
Yeah, it does. I mean, Brandon, he's usually always like kind of usually right there. I mean, he has his off days like all the rest of us, but whenever Brandon's good, he's good, and I think he ended up having like some unlucky stuff happen with a a wreck and caution that happens. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, he was insanely fast early on. I was having a hard time to getting around him, and I kept getting stuck on the inside in the restarts, which kept kind of messing me up. But we got through it, I guess.
Yeah, you got through it, and you got the win here tonight. So we head into Volusia in 2 weeks' time, and I know not exactly the same sort of composition here, as Volusia is going to race a lot different. Now, considering you got the win here at Cedar Lake, is Volusia somewhere you're excited for, or do you not really care for it too much?
Oh yeah, I'm very, very excited. I've just recently kind of started to figure out Volusia, so especially in these longer races, I've been with the DRT league that Midwest has and everything, and finally just figured out something that works for me. So I'm excited for that. Just we're gonna see and hope, I guess.
Yeah, say that's pretty much all you can do, man. At the end of the day, you got to see and you got to hope. But you got another win on the board here tonight for that number 55 camp. Is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance here tonight?
Oh yeah, I gotta shout out big, huge thanks to Bang Brandon for the old dig tonight, dude. If I wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be up here. I kept trying to try stuff that I was thinking about, and it wasn't really working. So I just kind of put my face into him, and he made something that was insanely good. And shout out Midwest Sim Sports. Like Brandon and all them, they helped me a lot. Chase, Tyler, everybody over there, Jeffrey. Aces and Eights Designs for my wrap. I love it. It's probably my favorite wrap I've ever had made. Safe from setups for stuff we ran tonight. Insanely good stuff. I do recommend those setups if y'all are looking for anything within the parameter of being able to tweak and stuff like that. You for putting on the stream and everything. I love going back and rewatching them, and shout out Derek for putting on these races.
Yeah, of course, we appreciate the kind words as always, Mr. Aiden, as I'm sure Derek appreciates the kind words as well. We're going to let you get out of here, celebrate this win. You said you're tired, so I'm sure it's probably bedtime for you, but get a little bit of maybe a celebratory, I don't know, hip hip hooray, or, I don't know, bro. But anyway, that's going to be the winner here, Aiden Lewis in the number 55 super late model.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And a big thanks for everyone as well for hopping into the booth, being so cool about these interviews. Well, that is going to do it for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 3 of the Slingin' Dirt Series Race Night in America did not disappoint. That is for sure. Now, unfortunately, I took a little too long in these interviews, so we do have the black screen of doom here because the iRacing session is over. If I'm not mistaken, though, we should be able to take you still through the feature results here tonight. Yes, we will. Aiden Lewis gets the win. Chase Copeland in P2. Eric Zulske in P3. You heard from all of them. Aaron McGee in the number 8, going to finish P4. Jordan McLean in P5. Clifford Driscoll, Timothy Mesmer Jr., Tyler Bickford, Brandon Jones, and Brandon Schatz get you to P10 with Nicholas McDougall, Derek Darnell, Sean Arnold, Derek Jester, Christopher Perini, Bentley Stewart, Dylan Jones, and Ricky Barfield round out your grid. It was fantastic racing here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to tune back in 2 weeks' time when we go to Volusia for round number 4 of the Slingin' Dirt Series Race Night in America. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.